We got our next comedian coming up, Uncle Howie.
Well, now I'm going to tell you about the last job I had in Jamaica before I come to America. You have this bank in Jamaica, and in Jamaica is big bank. You know, they found out that prostitution was taking place after hours behind the bank. So the security company hires me to stop it, to weed it out. Everybody in here who doesn't know what prostitution is, let me explain what it is. During prostitution, there's always two people fucking. Always. And so therefore, my job is to always stopping two people from fucking. Some job, huh? Some beautiful job, right?
Not beautiful.
So, my typical night at work, I show up at work and I'm in my security booth and I'm watching, looking. And the very moment I spot two people fucking, I rush over. Because these jobs, they don't tell you how to do these motherfucking jobs. I gotta figure out what to do on my fucking own, right? So, the moment I spot two people fucking, I rush over to them, rush over to the person and give them a speech. That will go like this. Get out of here! Get out of here! This is private property. This type of act is not permitted on here. Get out of here! And yep, I'm supposed to do it with a straight face, right? Because I figure it will not work if I don't do it, if I don't deliver the words right, and my face is not in the right way, it's not gonna work. And folks, I don't know what I did wrong, but before you know it, there was two people fucking everywhere. Everywhere you look, there was prostitution. Apparently, all the prostitutes in Jamaica found out what a beautiful, wonderful person I was. And now all the prostitutes in Jamaica found themselves at home with security. And you motherfuckers can question my security ability as you want, but those prostitutes feel safe with me. And yes, I did that job for almost 3 months before they fired me. And I never lost one prostitute. I'm telling you, folks, sometimes there's just so much fucking that a prostitute will come over to me and say, "Oh, Uncle Chloe, can I borrow the security booth? There's no place left." I say, oh, no problem. Oh, come on. I was beautiful. Anyway, folks, so the bank, and the security company, they found out about the kind of job I was doing, and they fired me. But, no, I'm out of a job now, but it's not bad. It's not bad because all the time I spent with those prostitutes, I watched and I learned. So now what am I? Biggest pimp in Jamaica.
Welcome to the stage, one of our local new favorites, Uncle Howie.
Yeah, man, big it up for the mighty Joe. Yes, winter event, make some noise again. Recently, I met a 57-year-old woman, and she told me she hasn't had sex in almost 25 years. And I thought, either I am the luckiest man in the world, or she's bullshitting me. Probably looking at me from across the street, I said, yeah, you'll buy it. You look stupid. And yes, folks, I do look stupid. This hair on my face helps hide it, but I do. I'm beginning to believe that sex is not just the basic in and out thing that I used to think it is, And when I say in and out, I know what your motherfuckers are thinking. Take your mind out the gutter. And that's not what I'm thinking. When I say in and out, what I mean is in, out. You see, man, you're thinking No. In and out. For example, the woman who haven't had sex in almost 25 years, she invited me over to her house, to talk, get to know each other a little better. So I'm at her house, we're sitting on the couch, talking, and we talk. After a while, she said she's tired. She want to go lay down. And if I want to come, I could come and lay down beside her on the bed and finish talking. So I lay down on the bed beside her. She's talking, I'm right here, she's talking, and I'm thinking. She's talking, thinking, talking, thinking. And yes, I don't know if you figure it out as yet, but I'm lying on the bed beside a vagina that has not been fucked. In almost 25 years. And to be quite honest with you, I really, really would like to fuck that vagina. Really, really very much. This is what I did there. I said really, really twice. I said really, really want to fuck it. Really, really. Just so you know how much I want to fuck it. Anyway, so I'm there, we get to know each other. She's talking, I'm thinking, and talking, thinking, and then I make a fuck move, I try to fuck her, and she blocked me. She said, "Uncle, remember what I told you? I'm not ready." Now, earlier when I said that she had not sex in almost 25 years, she was like a week or two away. So she wanted to hold out for the rest of the 25 years. And when she said she's not ready, so now I changed my plan. So I started to complimenting her. I said, "Oh man, you're such a strong woman. I admire you. You should be commended. You should be respected. You're a strong woman. Okay? I am lying right here beside you on the bed. And you still, you got a plan. You're still sticking to your plan." And folks, I was awesome. Of course, I was just bullshitting her so I would get some pussy. So anyway, she, because when she found out I'm such an awesome motherfucker, she said, "Okay, I'm not gonna let you fuck me, but you could finger me." That poor woman didn't know that I'm a professional fingerer. So I started to finger. I'm gonna show you a finger that. So I'm fingering her. She never been fingered like this before. And I'm fingering her and she started to make those screaming sex sound. If I could make him, I would make it. Can anybody help me out? How do you make that sound? I'm fingering you. Just pretend like I'm fingering you. Oh, my time is up. Alright, folks. Anyway, quick before I go, she stick to her word. She never let me fuck her. But she fucked me.
Oh, one more time for Uncle Howie. I don't know about you guys, I was taking notes and I can't wait for the second half next week. 2 weeks time, my New Year's resolution is gonna be fucking fit. I'm gonna know what I'm doing.
Comic, put your hands together for Uncle Howie!
From bringing my pigeons time.
More noise! Alright folks, so here now, yeah man, respect. So, one of my good friends work with a storage company. Alright, and of course you know what storage companies do. You get evicted. They provide you a safe place to store your furniture while you're sleeping in a cardboard box at the side of the road. So, at the storage company, my friend was telling me a story that they took a lady's furniture. And if you don't pay the bill, in 1 or 2 months they're gonna take your shit. Alright, so they took that lady's furniture and she told me that the lady called and gave her one piece of cussing, calling her a hoe and everything. And I said, damn, is it someone who knows you? I wonder how she knows your home. And yes, and the reason why I say that, yes, my friend, she was actually a prostitute before she started working at this road company.
Okay.
And so what happened is she was doing her prostitution, making her money, then her knees went bad. And she had to get them replaced.
Oh, our knees.
Then she found out that, you know, it's very, very hard to be a very good prostitute with fucked up knees.
Hell yeah.
And I don't want to be here and act like I know everything there is to know about prostitution. But the one thing I know is that it requires a lot of bending. Maybe. Well, unless you're a missionary.
This next comic coming to the stage, he's the second best uncle next to Snoop Dogg. Uncle Howie, everybody.
Yeah.
Wesley Chapel, make some noise.
Yeah.
Alright, it's a pleasure to be here. Folks, tonight I'm going to read my future. Alright, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what is about to happen to me. So as you can see, I'm getting into the comedy business. And pretty soon I'm going to have a whole lot of money. And then I'm going to be broke again. You know, that's just how it works where I come from. It's broke, money, broke. Right now I'm broke. You motherfuckers don't even know that I'm alive. And next, I'm gonna have a whole lot of money. And then I'm gonna have a lot of friends. Everybody in here will be my friend. The host will introduce me on stage as a good friend of mine. A lot of money. And then a lot of friends. You all gotta be my friend. And plus I'm gonna have a beautiful woman at home telling me that she will never leave me. And then I'm gonna be broke again. Now all my friends are gone, my money is gone, and the beautiful woman at home who told me that she will never leave me, what did she do? She left me. But not because I'm broke, because she's not that type of woman. She didn't leave me. I'm telling you my future now, you gotta tell it right, you gotta get it right. She didn't leave me because I'm broke, she left me because one day I forgot to take out the garbage. And yes, you're gonna find out that when you're broke, a woman will leave you for the simplest shit. All of you broke niggas out there, take Uncle Howie's advice. Never forget to take out the garbage. I bet you didn't know that there are two kinds of broke. Alright, broke number one, I'm gonna educate you right now. Broke number one is my kind of broke. You and I kind of broke. And what that means is that you check my bank account and you check my pocket. What you're gonna find is the absence of any money, which is the same as zero, which amounts to nothing. You understand? And that's my kind of broke, our kind of broke. The next kind of broke now is the rich man broke. Alright, and what that means is that you got a broker. Now what a broker's job? A broker's job is to teach people with money how to act broke. So you rich, you got a lot of money, what do? You hire a broker to watch it. And that motherfucking broker just sit down 24/7 and watching your money like this. And the moment that money reaches down to $1 million, the broker is gonna send you a letter. And once you receive a letter from your broker, then you know it's time for you to start acting broke again. So how do you act broke? I'm gonna teach you that too. And you ask me, Uncle Howie, how do you know all this shit? You know, how you teaching people to act broke? How you know that? Who teach you? Well, broke teach me. I've been motherfucking broke so much. I can teach a course in broke with my blindfold standing on my fucking head. So you get a letter from the broker, and now what you do is you're gonna take the letter. You know, you take to act broke, you're gonna take the letter from the broker, go down to the Chapter 11 office, wave it around, and cry like a motherfucking baby. And he said to me, Uncle Howie, so how do you cry like a baby? Imagine that. Really? Aren't all you motherfuckers the ex-baby? You all should know to cry like a baby, but I'm gonna teach you anyway because I'm a teacher. So you take the letter from your broker and you go down to the Chapter 11 office and you wave it around and you start to cry like a motherfucker. Oh, I'm broke. Let's see the letter here from my broker. I just got it from my broker. Oh, my time is up.
Yes.
All right, folks. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. And yes, this is a theater. My first time in a theater. You know, feels good. All right. Thank you.
My good friend, Uncle Howie, everybody. That is a Snoop Lion if he is never reincarnated ever.
Right along. Give it up for your next comedian, Uncle Howie, everybody.
Buffalo soldier, dreaded like a Rasta. There was a buffalo.
I like that. What's up, Winter Haven? What's going on? Everybody good?
Oh, yeah.
So, recently, a good friend of mine, she was experiencing a lot of pain, and her doctor gave her, an appointment to do an MRI. Now, the day before the MRI, my friend went to her hairdresser and spent 7 hours getting the most adorable hairstyle. Now, let me explain to you the reason why she's doing that. Now, my friend told me that ever since she was young, she had a dream that one day a doctor will be f***ing her. So because of that dream, every time she have a doctor's appointment, that woman spend $1,000 on herself getting the most adorable hairstyle and clothes, because her next doctor's appointment could be the next one. That motherfucker could just be the one. Anyway, so the following day is her MRI day, so she showed up, with her amazing hairstyle, and the doctor take one look at her and said, "Bitch, you can't do MRI with all that shit in your hair." Well, he didn't say bitch out loud. Yeah, but he said bitch. Yeah, trust me on that one. I'm an expert in bitchology. 4 years in the field. So trust me when I tell you that motherfucker said bitch. Just not out loud. Anyway, so she said to my friend, "Look, this is what I'm gonna do. The lady who is after you, she canceled. So this is what I would like you to do. Alright, if you hurry back to your hairdresser and let your hairdresser take all that shit out of your hair, you can hurry back and I will do that very important MRI for you today." My friend looked at the doctor for like 2 minutes in disbelief. Like, I guess she don't know whether she should cuss him or strangle him. And then she turned around and looked at the nurse and said, "Is this motherfucker for real?" And then she turned to the doctor and said, "Look, you know the amount of money I spent 7 hours, you know the amount of money and time I spent on this year? Are you telling me I should go take it out? The motherfucker, this year is not going nowhere for the next 3 months. Alright, so whatever is giving me all this pain, if it doesn't kill me in the next 3 months, I will see you in 3 months, motherfucker." Hair over MRI. Hair come first. Looks come first. Beauty come first. That's what you tell the doctor. Anyway, folks, that's my time. Much love. Winter Haven.
Buffalo soldier, dreaded like
One more time for Uncle Howie. I shouldn't even attempt to dance like that. That was stupid.
Folks, when I just came to America many years ago, I rented a room in a house with 3 bathrooms. 2 bathrooms upstairs, one of the bathroom was assigned to me, the tenant, and there was a spare bathroom downstairs. So one day I used the bathroom downstairs and I opened the bowl and the water was blue. And I said, this is the first time, folks, I ever open a toilet bowl and see blue water. Yes, in Jamaica, for me to see water like that, I have to go to the beach. And then I come to America, open the toilet, and the fucking beach is right there, right in the toilet bowl. I almost jumped in. So I was fascinated. So I asked the landlord, how do you do it? How you get this fucking blue water? Blue, beautiful water in this toilet, you know? And so she explained to me that, it's called a blue tablet. You put one in and it made the toilet fresh and blue and beautiful and this and that. And I was fascinated. And to be quite honest with you, I would love for my bathroom upstairs to experience the same blue sea, blue wonderfulness. But how am I going to do it? Now, there's a dozen ways I could do it, including go to the dollar store and go buy my own. And I'm going to tell you the way I do it and it's going to shock you. So what I did was I watched, every time she put one into her toilet, I watch and I see how it works. And I realized it works for 2 weeks. And my plan was, and what I did, I let it stay in her toilet. When she put one in, I let it stay in her toilet for 1 week, and then I go steal it and put it into my toilet bowl. And all of a sudden, my toilet is experiencing the same wonderful blue magic that her toilet is. And yes, folks, I've been stealing from that woman's toilet, and everything was working beautiful. Except once in a while, she would come to me and said, man, they're not making these blue things like they used to. And that poor woman didn't know that I was stealing that shit from out of her toilet and put it into my motherfucking toilet. Me, my time is up. Me, the wonderful Uncle Howie, I was stealing from out of that woman's toilet and put it into my toilet. Anyway, thank you very much, folks. Pleasure to be here once again. Good day,
One more time for Uncle Howie!